Don't be shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. It's weighing day.
How did you do that? How does that work? That was very good. Don't need no more.
Thank you very much for joining.
Get off mine.
Delighted to be joined by Darren Barker and Spencer Oliver.
Pratt. Yeah.
Spence.
Yes.
Talk about the air first of all, mate. Looking very.
If you want to talk about it, mate,
thick.
we can talk about it. It's coming back.
Do you want to give it a little plug to help you?
British Hair Clinic, mate. British Hair Clinic's just down the road, actually.
Yeah.
You're all right. You don't need.
I'm right.
You're
I've got a
all
bit.
right.
I need
You're
my
all right,
I need my haircut.
Yeah, British Hair Clinic, mate. Done a wicked job. What can I say?
Yeah, it looks well. Looks well.
God, it's freezing, by the way.
You're sitting more or less under the aircon. That's probably why. Yeah. Just a recap on the last few weeks has been good. Obviously, Spence, you come in this week, but Darren, you've been here every day of fight camp.
Been good, mate. Got to meet some really interesting people. A few wallies. But generally, it's been a good crack. Not you, don't worry. No, it's been good. The cricket's been good. That cricket pitch there has been a saving grace. It's split it up a little bit. It's made the evenings a little bit interesting.
I found it nuts, mate. It's just the totally. Yes, it's a strange environment. It's different, so different. But do you know what's sort of most eye-catching for me this week is just that we're in like a quarter of the hotel. Do you know what I mean? Like when it first come about, I thought it was a whole hotel, but it's a quarter of the hotel. So if the weather's not good or whatever, you've literally got nowhere to go.
It's so small, isn't it?
So small. It's unreal.
That's what they say about your knob.
That's the best thing. You can just say what you want on it.
Well, do you know what? The aircon's on. That's what it is.
It's
It's all
cold.
to do with the aircon. Yes, I know. I've just been at a mad experience. Like you got like Delphine Persoon. We got Delphine Persoon like walking past Katie Taylor. Dillian Whyte's out in his Winnebago. Alexander Povetkin's table is literally like what 10 foot away from like where he sits.
Someone kicked a ball yesterday and he hit the Winnebago. Who was that? Someone levered the ball. Probably Wally Downs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sober Wally? Is that you know?
I don't think he hasn't been sober. I don't think since he's been here.
He weren't sober last night.
Anyway, allegedly.
Yeah, so no, it's been so different. I just found it like it's mad. I think it's suited some people and not suited others.
Yeah.
Like Katie Taylor's like she's used to it through the amateurs and whatnot. You know what I mean? Sitting next to an opponent, eating dinner, etc. Because that's literally what it is.
Like for instance, last week Felix Cash, he likes to be out and about. Like I think I wouldn't say he struggled, but he was surprised at how small it was. You know, he's used to going to shops, doing this, doing that, and he was sort of just walking around scratching his head. You know?
I found it good though. Do you know what? When you've been locked up for 5 months indoors, actually it was like just like mingling with people again and all that. It was like it was really good. I think the 15-hour lockdown in your room when you have your test is all a little bit weird and all that drives you a bit nuts. I weren't mentally prepared for that. I got in there and I was like, right, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I had 3 beers in my bag. I thought, right, here we go. Had one, had the second one. I fell asleep about 4 o'clock, woke up at 8, and then that's it.
That's
you're
the
done.
worst thing that can happen.
So
I've
it's
got
the
my
worst
little
thing.
routine. So what I do is I throw everything in my case when I go home for the day, and then I get in the room, and I do my ironing, and I long it out because I'm terrible at ironing. So I do that for about an hour. Then I do a bit of prep. By the time I get there, I have my dinner. That'll take me to about 7 o'clock, and then I have a couple of beers, and then I'll try and crash out. And then by the time you wake up, you get your tests, all good, your results rather.
Yeah, but it's been a wicked experience. It has. I'm just like now we're getting a little bit closer. I can't wait for fight camp as it happens. You're in the field, didn't you, Ho? Like, I'm actually at the headquarters. Like I said to Darren, because I thought that's a bit weird. He's commentating because he does this stuff for his own. You got Matt Macklin and Adam and that. It's like, do you get a crossover? And he's like, no, we ain't there. And I went, where are you then? He went, he's not in the next field.
I'm the other side.
He's in the field. On
the other side of the M25.
They put him on. So visualise this, right? He's sitting there, a table, the screen in front of him, headphones and microphones
in
the middle of a field. Like he can't even see the headquarters house. That's how far away he is. Mad.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do. So
who said TV's glamorous?
Showbiz, baby.
Showbiz, absolutely. Okay, so I'm assuming you both are going for a Whyte win on tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm going Whyte win inside the distance. I think he's going to get the job. I think do you know what? It's a dangerous fight for 4 or 5 rounds, but I think he'll just figure it out, and his size and strength will take over. And I think that I fancy Whyte to get the job done inside the distance. Putting a lot on the line, by the way.
What I want you both to do is kind of talk me through how each fighter could win the fight. And we know you're backing Dillian Whyte, but how does Povetkin win this fight, and how does Whyte win this fight?
I think if Povetkin wins the fight, he starts. Look, he's got quick hands, and we've seen before Dillian Whyte when he boxed Oscar Rivas. Let's use him as an example. Rivas had quick hands, and he caught Dillian, and that's what Povetkin can do. A lot of people are saying it's a battle of the left hooks because they've both got such good left hooks, which they have. Dillian Whyte's good under pressure with a left hook. And offensively, Povetkin's good with it. He leads off with that really good, but he's also got a wicked short right hand over the top that's underestimated. And I think if he catches Dillian early, that's his chance of winning the fight. He's quick with his, although he moves quite slow with his feet, his timing's perfect and he's quick and he shoots off quick. His hands are quick, and he could try and go out there and catch Dillian cold. And also Dillian, because he's got punched down, he can labour sometimes with that jab, and Povetkin can come over the top with that wicked right hand. We saw it against David Price. Another example. So that's how I think Povetkin wins, if he wins, but I don't think that will happen.
Darren?
Yeah. Look, he's got to try and land that right hand that Spencer said, without a doubt. I think jab to the body is going to be key for Povetkin to getting close. What he does really well, Povetkin, he's a bit predictable of it, but it's hard to read because he does it so quickly. He'll slip inside, so if it's an orthodox fighter like Dillian Whyte is, he'll slip inside. And what he does, when he slips inside, he'll throw the overhand right, then try and throw the left to the body and throw the left hook. What that does do, it sort of nullifies Dillian Whyte's left hook, because you're in close there. It's hard for the orthodox fighter then to chop down with it. So for me, he's going to have to try and slip inside as much as he can, but the danger with that is you're slipping into the right hand. So look, I think he's going to have to be smart, Povetkin, no doubt. I think Dillian Whyte for me is the younger, fresher, heavier, bigger puncher in my opinion. So he's got to be smart. I think he's got to try and take a step away as well, try and feint, try and draw the lead out from Dillian Whyte, make him fall short and counter. But I think that slipping inside for Povetkin is key. For Dillian Whyte, I think it's about trying to impose his size into the fight. Don't do anything silly, don't get reckless, but try and get close, try and rough Povetkin up a little bit.
Well, I think he's like educated pressure in it, and he's sort of learnt that. Like, although he's 32, Dillian Whyte, and he only had like 7 amateur fights, didn't have a big amateur pedigree, so he's been learning on the job really. And I think as we've seen, especially over the last 12, 18 months, he's just been improving so much throughout the last couple of years really. But you see an improvement every single time, and I think the most important thing is that he's learned to be patient. That if he gets caught, you know, that's gone.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. 12 rounds,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I loved what Dillian said to us yesterday when we done the head-to-heads yesterday, and he said we done an interview with him, and he said, you know what, he said the right thing. So I was like, please don't take this guy lightly, because he looks like. He knows it's the last roll of the dice, Povetkin. He knows that this is his last opportunity, and he's got an opportunity to steal that pot of gold, take Dillian Whyte's managerial position, put himself right back up in the mix. That makes him a dangerous fighter, because he'll give it everything. He knows that if he loses this, his career's over, and he's had a great career. But Dillian said, you know what, he goes that I recognise that, you know, getting over the last hurdle can sometimes be the most difficult one. And when he said them words, I thought... Such a prick. When he said those words, I just thought, you know what? Fucking impressive.
Sorry. I know, it was serious talk there.
I was in the flow then as well.
Somehow
so he's cut my answer. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, there was obviously a reshuffle in Dillian Whyte's training team a few weeks ago where he parted ways with Mark Tibbs. He's brought in Dave Caldwell for the corner this Saturday. Good move.
Yeah, look, more eyes to help him out.
I think it's more about the experience at this level. You know, like Xavier's a great trainer. I've seen Xavier from the beginning. From he trains the amateurs and everything else.
They're filming my package.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's a great move because Xavier's not been in the bright lights and the big occasions and all that. So I think that it gives him more confidence as well. If anything happens, like during the fight, any situations, trainers without experience can panic, can't they?
Yeah, 100%. You know what, I'm intrigued at how Mark Tibbs has done a brilliant job with Dillian. From that defeat from AJ, and like it's kind of a title you never won as a kid, being the most improved. It's like saying you were useless before and now you're all right. But Dillian's a brilliant fighter, and he's improved so much. That relationship he had with Mark Tibbs, it was paramount, I think, to his improvement, no doubt. And another thing, when rounds are tough and you might get to the midway point or late into a fight, and you need that sound advice, Mark was able to give it to Dillian. And I'm just interested, if this does become a dogfight and it does get into the later rounds, what's the relationship? How's that corner going to be?
Yeah, of course.
It's so
I think
important.
that was the idea of bringing Dave in, because he'll be able to deal with that situation. You can tell
Very vocal.
Well, yeah, but you can tell, like Darren really didn't tell you this yourself, when you get to a certain stage of your fight, sometimes you can feel sorry for yourself, and the trainer needs to be able to recognise that.
And that's having that relationship.
That's having that relationship.
Knowing when to give you a kick up the backside or when to put an arm over
yeah,
you.
exactly.
So I'm interested to see that, if that turns into that style of fight.
Just a quick one on Taylor and Persoon. Are we expecting the same kind of fight?
Look, for me, it's one of those where you look at the styles and you think it can only be the same. But with the class, the skill and the pedigree that Katie Taylor has, I think she'll try and be a bit more cute with her work, a bit more creative. I think try and move her feet, create angles. Good look, 'cause at the end of the day, Persoon's going to be there. She's not going to have to look for Persoon. We know 100%. She said it yesterday, Persoon. She's going to try and get the centre ring and outwork Katie Taylor. So I think it's about Katie Taylor showing us why she's done what she has done, and why she's been so successful. Like, move your feet, move your head, create angles, be a bit more unpredictable with the shots she throws. I think she was just trying to meet fire with fire last time. It made for a brilliant fight, but I think
she underestimated
her head,
didn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what happened, and she got drawn into a fight.
She was just amazed at the volume of shot.
Well, Persoon
was
was saying yesterday, listen, we said, what are you going to do different? What are you bringing to the table that you didn't bring last time? She said, nothing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And what I'd done worked last time. I felt I won the fight. I felt I was on the wrong decision. So we're going to bring that game again. Exactly the same. Spoke to Katie Taylor. Said, what are you going to do different? You got drawn into a fight which didn't really suit you because Persoon was the stronger of the two. She said, well, the difference between this fight and the last fight is I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to stick to what I need to do. I've got a game plan. I'm going to stick to it. But at some point, she recognises that she will get drawn into that fight. But it's about when she chooses to do that. I think Taylor should win this one.
It's going to be a tough fight, and no doubt that I'm sure Katie Taylor will try and be smart and try and box better than she did last time. But it's just because of the way Persoon fights and that fire that Katie Taylor has in her eyes at times. I think it will catch fire. But I think Katie Taylor, she'll win on points, but a little wider this time.
Okay, Joshua's going to be working for Sky tomorrow.
They've been freezing.
What's going to happen after that? Little rumble in the ring after?
No, it won't happen like that. Because do you know what? Joshua's like a cool cat, and he's not going to get in Dillian's face or anything. Dillian's going to be firing. He won't try and steal Dillian's night. Do you know what I mean? If Dillian comes through victorious, Joshua's just going to, just talk about a possible return. Then that would be a great fight to see, by the way. I'd love to see that because Dillian's improved massively. That'd be an interesting one. What will happen? I don't know. Nothing will kick off. I think that Dillian's obviously going to say...
There's no crowd to feed off either. Nah. When you're in the O2 or anywhere like that.
Darren's in the field too.
Yeah, I'm back Barnet.
So it won't matter.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right, 3 times.
Don't.
3 times. Spencer, Oliver, Darren Barker, thank you very much
Pleasure,
to
mate.
IFL
Nice one,
TV,
mate.
and yeah, we look forward to a great night tomorrow night live on Sky Sports and The Zone.
Cheers, I'm freezing.
Shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.